Welcome everyone, my name is Rutu Parekh and I welcome you to our next interview, and today we have a wonderful personality with us, Dr. Athena Coustenis. She is the Director of Research at CNRS and working at the Observatory of Paris, and she's an astrophysicist and a planetary scientist as a profession. She has been in this field for more than 20 years.
Oh, more than 30 years.
Yeah, more than 30 years of now, so you can imagine her experience and field of expertise. She has also numerous research awards on her name, and she has been associated with numerous international committees and advisory commissions all over the world. And wonderful information, she's also the president of this human exploration and
spaceflight
at ESA. Yeah. So I'm very happy to have her today. Thank you so much for
You're welcome, my pleasure.
Taking your time from all this busy schedule and agreeing to sit with us. So yeah, seeing your whole career experience and your whole expertise. So my first question would be, you did study astrophysics as a PhD in your major subject, but I think side by side you also was doing English literature, and I think you were doing 2 degrees at a time during those times.
Yeah, I had so much free time. No, I didn't.
It's impossible because doing 2 things at a time, and that too while you're doing PhD. How did those things come up, and how did
I think it's a problem that many young people face today. It's very difficult to decide when you're young exactly what you want to do with the rest of your life. And I think many young people have the same question today, even more today, because there are so many more jobs that you can do. The problem with me is I was very good in literature, I was good in science, I was very interested, and when I left Greece to go to France and study, my father said, it's clear that you're never going to get a job in astronomy, so you should study English literature.
Okay.
And I said, well, I'll study English literature only if I can also study astronomy at the same time. Okay. So that was the deal.
Oh,
so it was a tough deal
to crack.
Because sometimes the exams were at the same time.
Yeah.
So sometimes I had to juggle between 2 exam days, and sometimes I had to wait until October to get my degree. But I went through all the way to PhD. I started my PhD in English literature and my PhD in astronomy.
So 2 PhDs at a time you were doing.
Yeah, but I didn't get to finish my PhD in literature. I hope to finish it one day, maybe when I'm 90. But anyway, it started, it's in the papers, but I did finish my PhD in astronomy, and then I followed up as a planetologist and astrophysicist at the Paris Observatory.
This seems really amazing. How did you manage to thrive? Because doing 2 subjects at a time, it was a kind of a new for you and learning experience for you. So, you know, there are like 1,000 things at a time you have to handle, learn, keep in mind. At the same time, you have to manage the subjects. So things
and
can
I had
get
to
really
work
tough.
Because as a student, I had to, make some money to pay for my flat and to pay for the books, and because my parents would help me as much as they could, but it's not enough. Paris is a very expensive city. So yes, but I still had time to go out on Saturdays and Sundays, have fun, do parties at my place, and all of that. So when people tell me, oh, I'm studying and it's so difficult at the university, I give them my example. I say, don't come to me and tell me it's complicated. You can always manage. You can always manage. And manage to have a student's life, because those years are very important in somebody's life.
I think that those are one of the most learning days of our life.
Yeah, and fun days. You have to have fun. You're out of school. You have to have fun, make friends, and so on.
Yeah. So then, obviously, you did had a lot of difficulties during your time. How did you manage to, being so energetic, so motivated, especially during those tough times? What was there which kept you pushing, I want to be in this field, I need to finish my PhD in a good way? And what was your go-to?
So I decided I was going to be an astronomer when I was 15. And I was in Greece. My father and my brother were pilots. Actually, I wanted to be a pilot. I couldn't be a pilot, not because a woman, that has never stopped me doing anything.
That's
but because
wonderful.
my eyes, I had a problem with my eyes, and in those days you didn't have the LASIK and all of that.
Sure.
So my dream was to, and then after that my dream was to be an astronomer. You know, in Greece we have all these nice beaches where you can see the stars and everything. I wanted to go there in some way. And so if you have this kind of motivation, if you have a dream, there's nothing stopping you, actually. I mean, even if you know, my father hadn't allowed me to go and supported me actually to go to France, I would have found a way to go and study astronomy. That is, when you want something, you can do it. And no matter how hard the times were, I was always, you know, pushed by this motivation, and I want to get there. And I'm also a very a rather positive person, and I'm always happy. I see always the glass half full. And so no matter what happened, it was like, oh, but this is good. Yeah, but this is good. And so if you see things this way, you go ahead.
Yeah, that's really lovely approach to any of the problems, I would say. So throughout your vast and huge career experience, you had really wonderful, like you have been associated with different projects and different missions. What would be the most, I would say, the significant moment of your professional life where, you know, you feel like I'm doing damn right and I'm doing on a perfect way and I'm really gonna push hard and hard? So what was any, like, you know, particular movement or any particular discovery which you feel like this is something is still pushing you today, or something which you have in your memory?
Well, you know, when you're a scientist, you need to have curiosity. You need to, for instance, I'm a planetologist, but I love to watch all kinds of documentaries on life sciences and technology. Day before yesterday here in Geneva, there was a documentary about the first hypersonic flight. And then it went through the whole history. I watched this thing for 2 hours, and it does have to do with what I'm doing, but I would just as well watch something, you know, on nature and things like that. If you don't have this kind of curiosity for all things in physics, then, you know, you don't, you're not a scientist, you're not a real scientist in my mind. But let me tell you, the first time that something incredible happened to me was when I was finishing my PhD. And I got to work on Titan, and Titan was the object at that time that nobody knew anything about.
Really?
It was just an orange ball.
Yeah, true.
It was viewed by Voyager, but I did my PhD on the Voyager data that were taken a long time before. But at the end of my PhD, we started working on Cassini-Huygens, and it was like the perfect moment where they needed someone who knew Titan, and so I went into the Cassini mission, several instruments. And so the thread through my life was developing a mission, working on a mission, getting the data, exploiting the data, and it even went to 2017 when the Cassini mission died. And this is something that not many people have the opportunity to view in their lives. And for me, it was just an incredible thing. And Titan has always been a fascination for everybody. Truly. We now have a new mission to go back, which shows how important it is. And so I was lucky, because I think in any kind of field you have to be lucky. And luck plays an important role, but at the same time you have to go and get it somehow. You know, you have to hunt down for that perfect opportunity. And so for me, that was it. That was the space mission. And then in the meantime, I did a lot of observational campaigns in big telescopes, like Hawaii, you know, Canary Islands.
Like a place to be.
Yes, and so it was a very exciting career, and it has been very rewarding.
Okay, that sounds like a very, you know, like a perk of being an astrophysicist, I would say. You have been like all these places where you have the telescope and wonderful surroundings. So other than your scientific commitments, you are also associated with a lot of the international advisory committees, chairing the international places, and you have been like, I would say, all around the places, always. So, you know, when we have this kind of commitment and job, where we have so much of travel, also so much of involvement in the science at this level, things get tough to balance between personal life and the professional life. Like, that balance is really important.
Yeah.
But to maintain that balance, it's sometimes, even as a student now, even I'm a PhD student, but sometimes even maintaining that balance is getting really challenging for me. I have to set the boundary to say no or something like that. How do you manage to do that? It's crazy.
Well, first of all, I just want to give an advice to young people who want to make a difference someday by being this kind of advisory bodies and committees where we make decisions. That it all started by me helping out with seminars at the observatory. I started organizing the seminars. From organizing the seminars, I managed to meet different people who came to give the seminars. And I somehow created a network, and then I knew the people, and from there I organized meetings and so on. So you have to be at the service of the community somehow, not just for yourself. And if you start being at the service of a community, your name does become familiar and you get this opportunity, and then they ask you to be in the different committees. So this is how today I'm chairing the Planetary Protection Panel of COSPER. I'm chairing an advisory body for ESA. I'm chairing advisory bodies for the French National Space Agencies. So it has been a long career, but it's important for me that besides my science, I can make a difference in the community, what missions, space missions are decided. How do we protect our planet and all that? And having a personal life, which for me came rather later because I just wanted to build my career. I was very focused. So it came later, and today I have a husband and a little girl. Now she's not so little anymore, she's 17. But it worked out perfectly because I was very organized. The time I spend with my family is quality time. And FaceTime and Skype has helped so much. It's really amazing how it can help. If you get organized, you can do it.
Okay, so the most important tip is to get organized if you need this balance, right?
Yeah, telephone, Skype. It feels as if I'm there, and whenever my family is on holidays, my daughter is on holidays, they come with me. She's traveled all over the world, so I think it's beneficial. It's not because you're there all the time that you make life better. It's because you use it in different ways and you make it quality. This is something really wonderful to hear, like, because at this stage, the stage you are, things like there are 1,000 things on your plate and you are handling it so well with full commitment, full focused and well managed. This is something really, you have to be very organized. Yes, you have to be very organized.
I mean, as a student, I have to accept I'm not that much organized. I'm still learning.
It comes with experience.
I'm still learning, and that's why I really wanted to know it from you, how you do that. So it was really wonderful to, hearing these things from you. Being a properly managing the things can take us really, really far places.
Oh yes, and if you I do lists all the time of the things I need to do. I try not to forget, it works after a time. You have a pattern and a setup, and then it gets easier. Not that, and you have to be multitask. I mean, I can work 5 different things at the same time. I can go from one to the other like a batch on a machine, and then I come back to the first one, finish and go through. So I think women are a little bit more multitask than men, because I usually get the response like from men that, I'm doing this thing now, I cannot do that other thing. But women can do 10,000 things at the same time.
This is something lovely observation, I would say.
It's an observation. Many people may not agree. I mean, half of the Earth population probably doesn't agree. But it's an asset if you can do multiple things at the same time.
Oh, perfect. So thank you so much for such a wonderful tips and sharing your personal journey with us.
More than welcome.
We are really thrilled to have you, and I'm going to save all these tips, at least for me. I hope those who would see this conversation and see this video would also get motivated, and one day they can also have some of these things.
No problem. Just follow your dream, and whatever you want to do, you can do it.
Thank you so much, Athena.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
And thank you for sitting with us.
No problem.